Thank you for staying with us. Tony Keogh from Cornucopia is in the kitchen this morning with a delicious sweet treat. Good morning, Tony. Good to see you as always. We're having dessert for brekkie.
Dessert for breakfast. We're turning upside down today.
A classic dessert. What are you making?
Classic dessert. We're making panna cotta. Now, panna cotta is normally cooked cream, which translates literally as cooked cream.
Yeah.
We're making a vegan version of it today.
Okay.
So we're going to cook it.
Okay.
But rather than cream, we're actually going to use a combination of coconut milk. Now, not all coconut milks are made equal. So I'm using one of these. This particular brand is quite good because it's got like 99.7% coconut in it.
Okay.
A lot of coconut milks are like 50 or 60% coconut with a mixture of gums and stabilisers.
That I never knew.
Yeah, if you read the back of the tin,
Wow,
you have to splash out and buy the nice ones. They're much better. So I've got some coconut milk in here, and I'm going to add to that now. As a sweetener, I'm going to use... I have a very sweet tooth, so I said 3 to 4 tablespoons in the recipe, so I'm putting in 4.
Good man.
Yeah, it's agave.
What is that?
That's agave syrup. Now,
Agave.
now I'm using a liquid sugar so it won't crystallise as it cools.
Okay.
And then the next ingredient I have here, cocoa butter.
Lovely.
About 100 grams of cocoa butter in there. Now I'm just going to higher the heat that a tiny bit.
Okay.
Just to...
And as you say, you're not veering hugely from the cooking method, even if you're cooking a traditional panna cotta, are you?
Yeah, no, it's the exact same kind of technique.
Okay.
Let's see, it's got a bit of a flame on it there. Perfect.
And you say it's a simple dessert, but it's all about the consistency.
It's about the consistency, yeah. But if you use the right amounts, now gelatine can be difficult to work with. Now I don't work with it myself, but I know from experience in the past that it's a bit of a tricky one. Agar powder is usually reasonable enough, and you can pick it up in the Asian grocery stores or some health food shops. So I'm using agar today. So it's literally 1 level teaspoon of agar, which is about 2 grams.
Okay.
And that seems to set this amount. This will yield about 600 mils of liquid.
Okay. So you're just looking to melt that chocolate in
Just
there?
melt it, yeah, exactly. And then I'm going to add a little bit of soy milk. Now, the soy milk's important because that helps emulsify the fat. And it keeps it kind of creamy. Without the soy milk, what can happen is sometimes the cocoa butter can separate and recongeal. And yeah, it's not the best.
You don't want that.
You don't want that, exactly. So next in then, I've got vanilla. I'm using vanilla extract as opposed to essence.
Okay.
Just a drop of vanilla extract.
Perfect. And it's one of those dishes as well, panna cotta.
A little bit more.
You can mess around with the flavours, can't you?
Yeah, it's great.
It'll take it.
Yeah, it'll take it. You can do lemon, orange. Actually, I made another banana, cherry. You can do all sorts of stuff, you know.
Excellent.
It's such a versatile...
Your vanilla went in.
Vanilla went in. Just a little bit of agar, just the 2 grams of agar.
Okay.
So there's agar and salt, just a pinch of salt with the agar. Now, the salt is just to give a bit of bite. I always put a bit of salt in with sweet, just to kind of round it out. So that's all our ingredients there. So I'm going to get it up to a nice rolling.
So, Tony, when you're putting a dish of this together, does it take a lot of experimentation in terms of trying to recreate in a vegan version?
It often will, yeah.
Yeah,
it
trial
often
and
will.
error?
Trial and error, just a sec there. Sorry, just as after going.
Do you need a 50-cent coin for it? Do you want me to come over? If you step out of the way there,
no, I think I have it there.
I'll come over and give it a karate chop.
It's all good. I just had it up too high there. That'll do it there now. It just went back onto the...
So there's a bit of experimentation in terms of
experimentation, yeah, exactly. So I had to make this particular version 3 or 4 times to get it right.
Okay.
Just to get the right consistency with the agar.
Yeah.
Now, I was making a home with different stabilisers, and I'd figured those out, but then I had to change it to agar.
Okay.
So that just has to come to a boil. But while that's boiling there, I'm going to make a cherry compote.
Okay.
So the cherry compote now, it's just very simple. I'm just going to bring that up to a boil there. I've got cherries in here.
Okay.
I just use frozen cherries.
Okay.
A little bit of spirit. I'm using a bit of whiskey there.
Good man.
Yeah, I know. You can't go wrong. Sugar. Now, I'm going to do this in fast motion because I have some ready there.
Okay.
Sugar in there. A little bit of water. Oh, and see, look, that's up to a boil.
Excellent.
So while that's simmering away there, I can actually knock this off.
So that's done, though.
That's actually done, yeah.
Okay.
So this is so simple. And that's basically your panna cotta done. Now, what I normally do, I'll leave it for a moment to take the heat out of it, just to let it cool down a little bit. I'm going to pour it into a plastic jug here. This should yield about 600 mils there and abouts.
Okay.
And then we're going to divide it up. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways of doing it.
Okay.
These moulds are brilliant. You can buy them anywhere. You know, different shapes and sizes. Get them in supermarkets, kitchen shops. So these moulds are brilliant. Now, I use the moulds myself. Okay. Important. So I'll just do a couple of moulds just to show you. Just pour them in. And all you got to do then is stick it in the fridge for 4 hours. That's it. It's so simple.
So all you're going to do is bring that mixture to a boil, take it off the heat, let it cool down and pour it.
Exactly, because see, the agar it activates around just over 80 degrees. You want to bring it to a rolling boil for about 30 seconds. Okay. These glasses, a nice way of doing it, you can pour this into a glass like so, at an angle, okay? Yeah. And then you put it sitting in a muffin tray, pop it in the fridge, take it out,
at that angle.
and it will set at that angle.
And
then you can put your compote on top. Or if you couldn't be bothered doing that, just pour it in like this.
Very good. And so you want about 4 hours in the fridge then?
About 4 hours in the fridge. If you're using the moulds, overnight's better.
Okay, all right.
Now,
back to our compost.
Back to our compost. So we've got everything in there. drop of almond extract. Now, as I said, you can probably smell the whiskey there.
Absolutely.
That's a bit of bourbon.
And again, this is where you can mess around. If you didn't want cherries, you could use any kind of berry.
Yeah, exactly. You could use cherries. You can just. It's so versatile. Such a versatile recipe. There's so much scope for experimentation with it. You can use any type of berries.
And are you going to cook them for a while there, Tony? Let them break down.
Well, what I do with this, I'd cook this now for about 10 minutes. Let it boil off the whiskey.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's TV here, so I've brought one ready prepared.
Fantastic.
So I'm just going to quickly plate one up, just to give you an idea.
And when you
what
cook it,
looks
do you want that? Do you want the cherries or the fruit to break down, Tony?
I want them to break down slightly now, and I want the liquid to reduce a little.
You don't want to puree. You're not going to puree it.
Yeah. So we want to keep. There is a small amount of pectin in the cherries, which will kind of make it a bit syrupy. It's only a very small amount, but that combined with the sugar will make it slightly syrupy. So you have a little bit of liquid. Now I have tried it with using different fats. And using pectin, but the texture wasn't right for this.
Right.
Do you know?
And again, if you're worried about the alcohol, first of all, it'll cook off during that cooking.
Exactly.
And if you're doing it for the kids, you can leave it out anyway.
Yeah, exactly. There's no need for it. You can actually put in. You know what's nice in there as well? You can put in a drop of lemon juice.
I was just going to say, could you put in a citrus juice in there?
Yeah, a little bit of lemon juice would be nice. Orange juice is lovely with cherries as well. Yeah, so that's a lovely one. There's loads of things you can add to it, just to get a different flavour. Pomegranate molasses actually, we can make it nice and tart.
Oh, wow.
There's a few things you can do. Even some of the vinegars, like raspberry vinegar, balsamic vinegar.
So you've your compote done, our panna cotta's in the fridge. What about this bad boy here?
Oh, this is the chocolate bark. Now, I'm not going to make that today. I'm just going to explain it. It's so simple.
Because it looks hard to do, but it's not.
It's the easiest thing in the world. All you've got to do is melt a bar of chocolate in the microwave or over a bain-marie, pour it onto some parchment paper. That's it. And then before it sets now, sprinkle on your almonds and a pinch of salt. That's it. Now, one more thing I would say, if you're using the cocoa butter for your panna cotta, hold back a couple of buttons of cocoa butter just to drop in. It helps to temper it. A little bit, just to add a little bit in, and then.
And do you, when you pour it onto your parchment paper, do you put it in the fridge or the freezer?
I'll actually just put it in the fridge. I'll leave it out to set first for a while because sometimes it gets a bit streaky if you put it in the fridge.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll leave it out to set and then put it in the fridge once it sets hard.
And then just drop whatever almonds or whatever you want to use on top.
Exactly. But just make sure you put the almonds on while it's still a little bit wet.
So it's set into it.
So it's set into it. And you could use pistachio. You could use raspberry powder. There's loads of stuff you could use. And actually, I made banana chips and peanut at home. Peanut banana.
Gorge. So then to plate up, Tony.
To plate up. So I'm just going to take one out here. Now they're a bit wobbly.
Well, they're sitting under the heat of the lights as well, which doesn't help. But you've got that texture. Look, a bit of a wobble.
A bit of a wobble. Oh,
lovely.
And then we've got our cherries here. So a little bit of cherry.
Compote around it.
I just put one or two in the centre.
Beauty.
A little bit of syrup around.
Yeah, that syrup is gold, isn't it, Tony?
Oh, that's great. The syrup is brilliant. And then I just a little shard of bark. Like this dessert, it's clean, it's light, it looks elegant, and it's so simple to make. I mean, like you see, it's just 2 pots.
Fab.
A little bit of chocolate overnight, just a little bit of advanced planning.
Well, I'm going to dive in here to the bark to start off because chocolate, you know me and chocolate.
I'm a bit of a chocolate fiend myself. I have such a sweet tooth, Simon.
Well, I'll try and get it in my mouth to be a start, wouldn't it?
It's actually dangerous for me making stuff like this, I'm telling you.
Oh. So I could eat that all day long.
And the wobble is...
Your wobble is perfect.
Great,
I have to say.
great.
Yeah.
I'm working on the wobble now, so I'm happy with that now. And the melt and the mouth texture.
The mouth feel is excellent, Tony. Yeah.
Creaminess, isn't it?
And the compote is spectacular. Thank you very much, Jim.
No problem at all, Simon.